Today we are at Clam Beach up on the Northern California coast in Humboldt. We are surrounded by redwoods here behind us, and off in the distance we can see the little town of Trinidad, one of the great places here in Northern California. Lots of fantastic views out here. Going to be a nice warm day. I did not come out here to have an enjoyable beach day. I came out here to cut my hair, believe it or not. One of the nice little extra features at this beach is this ramp, and it makes it easy for anybody with mobility issues to step out a little closer to the water out beyond and get a view of the beach and Trinidad out in the distance. Nice little added touch here. Now, I realize this might seem like a strange place for me to set up to cut my hair, but we've got this nice big parking lot that is free to park during the day, just day use only. There is a campground very close by, just down the road here. Nice and convenient if you did want to camp in this area. But we've got a little restroom area. It's a pit toilet, but they usually keep it fairly clean. There's a trash can here, and so this makes a pretty nice place for me to set up to be able to cut my hair, because if you may not know, I live out of a van, and so it's not like I can really cut my hair inside my van all that easily, so I need to find a place to set up and do this. So this is a good spot for me to do this. My van needs a wash, doesn't it? That's for another day. Today, I need to cut my hair. Now, I should add here that this is not a place I would come to set up on the weekends. This parking lot does get pretty jammed up on the weekends. This is a popular beach in this area. There is a little bit more parking on the road, but parking's pretty limited. Now, during the middle of the week, it's not quite so bad, so that's why I've headed out here. Another reason I've headed out here is there are some water spigots available, so I can fill up my tanks, fill up my water filter while I'm here, and also get some water for a shower after I get done with the haircut. Now, I'm set up back here with my two back doors open to the van to, number one, give me a little privacy, and number two, give me a little block of the wind. One time I cut my hair just like this, and I found that the inside of the van got covered with hair clippings. So in order to block a little bit more wind, I have a couple of tarps, and I've got a smaller tarp I bought at a dollar store for a few bucks, and it's pretty good, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is a polyester tarp, and I bought this one after doing some research on YouTube of cheap tarps from Amazon, and everybody that did reviews on this from this company Kalinko said that this was not only the cheapest tarp that they could find, but it was actually pretty good quality, so that was good enough for me. I bought it. There's some oddities about this tarp, but it's pretty nice to use. It's really lightweight, so it's easy to kind of maneuver around. So I have some bungee cords that are strategically set around on some of the tie-off points on this tarp. This tarp doesn't have any grommets, and in one way that's a good thing, because there's nothing that's going to scratch the van up and ruin the paint. So I do kind of like that, although it makes it a little bit more difficult to get this secured down in certain cases. But the bungee cords work pretty good, especially up on my rack. I can get them up on there, and then in other areas I have a bunch of these magnet hooks. Bought these at Harbor Freight, so I can either go through the tie-off points with the hook part of this, or because this is a really thin polyester material, I can actually just put the magnet on the outside onto the metal of the van, and that'll secure it in place. So I've got some options on getting this tied down, but I do need to spend a few minutes to do this, because this is such a lightweight material. It does kind of take off in the breeze, as you can probably tell. Okay, that went pretty quick and easy. The one issue I have with this is a minivan, so I don't have a lot of space. It doesn't leave me a lot of space around. These are small doors, so there's not a lot of working room here, but there is just enough. And the bigger issue is probably the headroom. I'm taller than my van by just a little bit, so that means I don't have a whole lot of room to move around. I do have to kind of crouch down a little bit as you can probably tell. But it's not that bad. At one time I did buy an extension pole, and I tried to get that set up to make a little teepee area back here to give me a little more headroom, but that doesn't really work so well. It kind of, because I'm in such a small space here, the extension pole is just in my way no matter where I put it. So I think I'm gonna just go with this setup and just crouch a bit. Now I need to get my clippers out and get them set up. So I've been cutting my hair for the last couple of years, maybe more than 2 years, and I have not really gotten much better at it, but it doesn't really bother me because I'm being more self-sufficient, where I don't have to go find a barber to cut my hair. The money aspect of it too comes into play, but really to me it's more the convenience of being able to just cut my hair whenever I need to have it cut. That's really the biggest part of that. Now that it's been so long, I really can't see myself ever going back to a barber. But it's funny, over the last month, I've had a couple of people leave just really rude comments, like insanely rude comments about me cutting my hair, about how it looks terrible and I really need to go to a real barber or stylist. And like, I don't, like, what do I care? You know, seriously, what do I care? I am trying to get better at it, but I just don't seem to be able to get much better. I mean, I'm still hopeful that I'll figure out a better way to do this. I've got these kind of nice wall clippers, and you know, it's a decent brand name of clipper. They're pretty good quality, I guess. At least that's what some people tell me. People have given me little tips on how to cut the hair to get a little better job done, but I just have not been able to follow direction very well, obviously. But you know what? I really don't care what the outcome looks like. I'm just going to keep on cutting it, and hopefully at some point I'll get better at it. But even if I don't, I just like the self-sufficiency part of it, and that's kind of why I'm bringing you along and showing you that I'm doing this today, just because it's all about just being a little bit more self-sufficient and taking care of stuff that I can do. You know, I cook for myself. Why should I not cut my own hair, right? It's kind of the same thing to me, in my mind anyway. So with the clippers, since these are AC clippers and my power system here is DC only, I do have to get out my backup power supply, which is this big monster here. This is made by UPEZ. They sent this out to me to do a review on it a while back, and it's been a nice kind of backup power situation if I need it. But the other nice thing about it is it allows me to be able to plug in AC powered stuff. This is well too big for these clippers. You know, these clippers use just a fraction of the wattage that this UPEZ puts out, but it's what I have, so it is what I'm going to use. Okay, I'm all set up here. I've got my little magnet mirror, and then I do have another mirror here that I can use with this mirror so that I can kind of see behind a little bit better. And the only issue I think I'm having is the wind is picking up a little bit. So that's going to complicate things for me just a bit. I also did not make any coffee. I should have made a cup of coffee, but I'm not going to make a cup now. I will make myself a cup of coffee if I do a good job, and only if I do a good job, I will make myself a cup of coffee as a reward. Okay, I think I'm done here. Just giving this a little look over. Looks pretty good, I think. Usually I'm not quite as happy with how it looks at this point, so I think that's good news. It does definitely look different after I wash it though, so I'm gonna get on to my shower. I've still got to put my clippers and stuff away. I think the one thing about these clippers is it's really kind of hard to maneuver them. So last year I had bought some little clippers, which I thought would be easier for like trimming around my ears and stuff. The trouble is these, being that they're battery powered, and maybe has something to do with the trimmer itself too, but it just does not cut anything. As soon as I try to trim anything with it, it just kind of bogs down and doesn't cut anything. So I keep it around just to trim up my beard a little bit, but it has trouble with that too. So I don't know, this thing is probably not worth the money I spent on it. Oh, it also takes about 12 hours to charge fully, so I don't ever have it fully charged either. So I should probably just toss that out. Although it's got a lithium battery in it, so I don't want to just throw it away. So that's why it's still been hanging around. But these are good. They're really good and sharp and strong, and because it's a plug-in trimmer, of course, it's got lots of power. But let's set up the shower and give this a good wash, and myself a good wash, and see what it looks like then. If you're curious to know how much power clippers use, it's basically nothing. The power supply was at 99% when I started, and after running it for a little over an hour, it's now down to 98%. So didn't use much power at all. Oh, this has turned out to be a really good day to do this. It's a little bit warmer outside than it has been lately. It's been downright chilly most days. But seeing that I'm going to be standing basically outside, I mean, I am going to be under cover there, but I am basically outside. It's nice to be showering on a warmer day versus a colder day. But to make this a little bit more comfortable, I'm heating up some water on my stove. Now, I've got a few different ways that I could shower outside. I could, just dump some water over me, or I could use my little sprayer that I have on my sink. As soon as I turn my pump on for my sink and then flip a lever, I could use this to spray. The trouble with this is just cold water, so this is not something that I normally use to shower with, but it's an option. I think the better way is to use a little makeshift shower head, which I've done here with a Dr. Bronner's bottle. This is odd. This is a different type of plastic than most Dr. Bronner bottles use. I don't know where it came from exactly, but when I used up the soap, I found just a regular old lid for a water bottle, and I poked some holes in it, and then I just used this as basically a little makeshift shower head. It works really well, and I've got a bunch of little holes there in the top so that I have kind of a little nice shower spray that comes out of it. And it's nice because I can squeeze it and get a little bit of pressure, especially, after I've cut my hair. I really need to get a little bit of pressure through to get all that loose hair out. So this works pretty well. I did make another one, because this one's so small, I did make another one out of a larger bottle, and basically the same thing. I just poke some holes in the top of the cap, and I can use it in much the same way, but have a little more volume of water. This one I actually don't like quite as well as the Dr. Bronner's bottle, because this one I can squeeze and get some good pressure out of, where this one is a little bit hard to hold and squeeze if it's full of water. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them both up, and this one actually works pretty good if I just hold it over and drizzle the water out of it. But I do like the smaller bottle one that I can get some pressure. So as soon as the water is nice and warmed up, I'll put these, fill these up and take a shower. And then I am curious to see what my hair is going to look like, because I think I said before, it always looks different after I washed it the first time. Fingers crossed here. Okay, give this a little test. Yeah, that works good. Good heat. This one, since this is my second one, I heat the water up just a little bit hotter so that I know it'll be still comfortable by the time I get to it. And I've got my soap here. I normally use the liquid Dr. Bronner's, but today I'm going to use the bar soap because I find that this works better on my hair. Regular Dr. Bronner's is not so good for a shampoo, so this is much better for that. All right, and at this point, you've got to go away. So bye-bye. We'll see you in a few minutes. I'm going to take a nice, long, luxurious shower because this is like almost a gallon of water. Maybe that is a gallon. I don't know. But there's a lot more than I usually use for a shower every day. So I'm going to enjoy this. This has been quite a while since I've had a real actual shower with good warm or really hot water here. This is nice. Okay, I'm just looking over my work here. It's a little bit lopsided. It seems like that's the thing I always do, and I think it's just because my hair is kind of wavy and curly. It's really hard to do with just clippers, I think. And it's funny, people always say, well, just wait till it grows out because it'll look better when it grows out. It never does. Over the 2+ years I've been cutting my own hair, it always looks worse after I wash it. Like right now, it looks worse than it did before I washed it, and then it will always look worse the next day, and then as it grows out, it looks worse and worse and worse. So that tells me my technique needs a little bit of changing, although I think this is probably the second best haircut I've given myself, at least looking at it so far. It's a little bit like it's a little jagged in some spots. I've got all these cowlicks that really add to the problem there too. Not just the waviness of my hair, it's just that the cowlicks really are tough. But I do think this is the second best haircut I've given myself, so I'm happy, and you know what that means? That means I deserve my cup of coffee. And I am well due for a cup of coffee, so let me put a little product here in my hair, and by product I mean Dr. Bronner's hand lotion is what I use, just to get this looking a little bit better, and then I'll make a cup of coffee. Well, I'm quite happy with this cut. I think I am getting better slowly. I was hoping that I would get better quicker and maybe, cut quicker. It always takes me quite a long time. It took me over an hour, although the best haircut I ever gave myself was the first haircut I did for myself, and that one I think I spent like 3 hours doing. So maybe that's what I need to do, is just slow down and take my time. Maybe that's the secret. But this one turned out pretty good, I think. It definitely looks better once I kind of glued it down with the basically conditioner is kind of like what I did in this. I just use that hand lotion and it acts like conditioner, and it kind of just tames it down a little bit. So it looks pretty good, I think. I've got some incredibly good coffee here. This is a local coffee from a very small company called Fogline out of Arcata, which is right close by here. And this is just incredibly good stuff. It is one of their more expensive options because it's an Ethiopian blend, and it's just fantastic. So I've been enjoying this, and I'm ripping through the bag here. As I always do with good coffee, I just can't stop drinking it, so I've been drinking this morning, noon, and night. But it's a good thing to spoil yourself once in a while with some really good coffee, and that's what this is. And because I did a good job on my haircut, it means that I definitely need to spoil myself. So that's what I'm doing here. So one reason why I just took a few minutes to make some coffee is because I need to let that tarp dry out a little bit. Because it's such a small space there, it always ends up getting a little bit wet, and so I have to wait a few minutes for it to dry. Because it is a coated polyester fabric, it dries out pretty quick. So it should be dry now, and I'll put that away and put everything else away now. And I should probably also take advantage of the fact that there's some trash cans here and dump my trash and refill all my water. I filled up my filtered water earlier, but I need to fill up my sink jug, so I'll do that. And I should probably change my sheets out too. I've got fresh clothes on. It's probably a good time to change my sheets out too, and just do a little bit of cleaning while I'm here. The day is progressing rather quickly though, so I guess I can't exactly sit and enjoy my coffee. I need to get on with things. But I will just take a few sips before I start, of course. The tarp wasn't dry yet, so I'm letting it kind of flap in the breeze. I took a couple of the magnets off and it's really just flapping around, but it is drying much quicker now that it's loose. So it's making a bit of a racket. But I was just thinking, as I'm trying to get my bed made up here, that I should probably just address the showering situation. Whenever I talk about showering, it always brings up a lot of questions and comments, and people like to either ask me why I don't have a gym membership, or they suggest me getting a gym membership or going to a community center to get a shower. And those are all really good, viable options for getting a shower if I needed one, but it's really a non-issue for me. I have a way of bathing every day using my sink here, and I do that every single morning, and a lot of times I do it before I go to bed at night, and it works really well. It uses very little water too. I usually use less than a quart of water whenever I take a bath. It works so good that I haven't felt the need to have another gym membership. I've had gym memberships in the past, and I say that as plural because for a little over a year I had 2 gym memberships at the same time. Yeah, it was a lot of money to be spending every month, but showers were really important to me, and I hadn't figured out that I was pretty self-sufficient here, being that I had a sink with running water, and if I need the water warmed up, I can warm it up like I did on the stove. And so once I figured all that out, it made spending all that money on a gym membership just kind of, not worth the money. And I could go to a community center and get a shower too, but again, hasn't really felt like it was worth the time to go do that when my little system works just fine. And I often will do something like this, where if I have an area that I can set up to take a shower like this, I'll do it if the weather's warm enough. It actually was a little bit chilly here today. I thought it was a little warmer than it really is. Once I started pouring the water on me, it was a little chilly. It was okay when I was pouring the warm water on me, but when I was just soaping up, I wish the outside temperature was a little bit warmer. And that's why, that's another reason why I resort to just using my sink to take a bath when I need to take a bath, because I can be inside my space here. I can turn my heater on, I can turn my fan on if it's too warm, and I don't have to deal with anybody, and I don't have to go anywhere in particular to do that. So that's why I don't have a gym membership, and that's why I just don't spend a whole lot of time and effort searching out a shower, is because it's just not something that I need. I tell you what, a bigger problem I have is like my bedding. This is my last set of flannel sheets, and I would like to find another pair of flannel sheets, but I have not been able to find a decent pair of flannel sheets. In fact, I threw out a set of flannel sheets that I had because they were just ripping to shreds. And these I'm about ready to toss out too, because the quality of them is just terrible. That's a bigger issue for me than the shower thing. I wish I could find decent quality sheets and decent quality clothes. I've got a new t-shirt on that I'm trying out. I'm not very happy with. And the pants that I have on, Wrangler cargo pants, they've changed the quality on those too. These are bigger issues for me than trying to find a shower. So, if you wonder why I don't have a gym membership, there it is. There's a lot of other things that bug me a lot more, cause me a lot more headache than trying to get a shower. A shower is the least of my worries. I really like that tarp, but it is just big enough that it's kind of cumbersome. I think it's a little under 10 foot by 10 foot square, and if it were maybe like 8 foot by 8 foot, it would probably be a little easier for me to manage and might fit a little bit better back there, but I think that was the only size they had back when I bought that. I've had that thing for quite a while, and it's been really good. I've been really happy with it. I wasn't quite sure about it because of the price of it compared to other polyester tarps, but it's turned out to be a really good tarp. All right, there we go. Is there anything better than a fresh set of sheets after a nice hot shower? I don't think so. I am ready for bed already, and I'm usually ready for bed anytime, any place. Okay, last two things. I've got to fill up my water tank here, and this is a 7-gallon tank, and I have a 5-gallon backup jug that I use to fill it up. So I'll fill the tank up and then I'll take the backup jug over and refill it since I'm here near some water. This is really fiddly, and I'm not real happy with myself in the design I have here, but it works. It's just really hard to fill up. There was a time when I was, way back when I was planning the van build, I didn't want to have a tank under here. I thought I would have a water tank up on top of the sink and just have like a gravity feed sink. And that's been suggested several times, but I'll tell you, especially the older I get, I do not like having to pick up a water jug like this one. This is full. I don't know how much 5 gallons weighs, but it's not light. And there's sometimes that I put this off because I just don't want to have to deal with all of this weight. Same with filling up my water filter. I've got no choice but to fill it up that way, although the other day I actually took this whole thing off of here and took it over to the hose bib to fill up because I just wasn't feeling like lifting this thing up this high to fill up the jug here. So that's one of those little things that I should probably look at making some changes on. Still trying to figure out a better way to do this, but I got no choice but to fill this up this way today. Okay, now refill this and then take out the trash and then find something a little more relaxing to do. Well, it just occurred to me that there's no sense in dumping the trash today because I'm probably going to be right back here tomorrow. I think my haircut can be fixed a little bit. It's not bad, of course. I like it. I just think it's a little choppy in places. It's choppy over here because of my cowlick, and here because I think I just missed it. So I'll be back here tomorrow and just touch it up, and then I can wash it again, and we'll probably take another shower. Who are we kidding? And so I'll dump the trash tomorrow when I'm back. So that means we can go out and do something much more enjoyable, which is go walk out to the ocean and look around a little bit more. But first, I'm going to finish my coffee because I've got just a couple sips left. This coffee from Fogline is incredible, and if you haven't had Fogline coffee, I can highly, highly recommend it. Something happened out here over the last few months. I kind of wonder if it was a fire, because this was all flowers and grass out here, and they now have it kind of sectioned off, saying that they're trying to restore it a little bit. But that whole area used to look like all of this over here. So I never did hear what happened to it, but they do take care of this area very well, so they're on top of it, it looks like. But as pretty as that is out there, this is what I came to see. I can never get enough of the ocean, and this view is always, always fantastic, especially out there toward Trinidad. This is where I'm happiest, always where I'm happiest, right here near the ocean. Oh, the temperature has dropped a little bit here, and the wind has picked up even more than it was earlier. So it's feeling a little bit chilly, and the wind's making my eyes water. I'm not crying, although I could be crying because I'm happy to be back in my favorite place to be, the Pacific Ocean. And I say the Pacific Ocean specifically because it's the ocean that I like the best. And I know that there are other oceans that are great. I've actually been to the Atlantic Ocean a little bit, but this is my preference right here. And can you blame me? Look at this. It's just incredible. I can never get enough of this area. It's just my favorite area of all of California. And I can never spend enough time here. Just so much to see, and it's so beautiful everywhere. And just a few minutes north of here is the Redwood National Forest and State Forest. And of course, there are redwoods all around just beside this area here. So a lot to see, a lot to do, pretty everywhere. And just another great day out here to be able to spend it with some nice weather, and actually got something accomplished today, something important like a haircut. May not be the most important thing to everybody, but I am happy to have it done. And fresh sheets and a nice shower today. I had a lot of stuff done, but I still have some more things to do. I've got to head back into Eureka because I've got some shopping to do. I'm almost out of a few things, including cheese and coffee, and that just can't stand. So I'll go back into Eureka today and get that taken care of. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.